Owning a football club has always been my dream. But let's be real, I'm not a movie star, a sheikh, or an American billionaire. So buying a club? Not happening. Instead, I'm creating my own club in FC25. The goal is to one day become the greatest club owner in the world. But that's not going to be easy, because we're starting from the absolute bottom, EFL League 2. But if I can make the right signings, develop academy stars, secure big sponsors, maybe, just maybe, we can rise all the way up to the Premier League and even the Champions League. First things first, we need a club name. Now, since this isn't our first rodeo, S2G FC, that's who we are. We've done this series on FIFA 23, on FC 24, and now we're doing the FC 25 edition. I've got a feeling it's going to be bigger and better than ever. But yeah, we are starting out as a broke club. We need money. And so here I am in the S2G FC offices, hitting the phones, begging to people. And after a lot of sleepless nights, I managed to secure the club a deal. It's from Umbro. They're willing to manufacture our kits and give us 1 million for our transfer budget, but on one condition. They want us to secure promotion to League 1. But it gets worse. If we fail this objective, Umbro will take back the money. Bro, how do I even commit to such kind of a contract offer? I haven't even met our squad yet. This is super risky, but we don't have a choice. I guess we're signing this contract with Umbro. At least they cooked up some fire kits. Next up, we need a stadium to play ball in. We're going with the humble Longville Stadium. It's the cheapest one available. A local ground which is 3,900 seats. It's more like a local park though. But hey, we are a teeny tiny club playing in EFL League 2. We're naming it Rooney Park though, after our FC24 legend Dave Rooney. If you know, you know. Now let's meet the S2G FC class of 2025. We've got Joseph Holden, our highest rated player. Rock solid centre back. Richard Healy, a promising winger. Maybe a future club legend. Oh, there's also Arlo Rose, 63 rated striker, our main goal threat. We also have his little brother Max in our squad, though rumor has it that they don't really get along. There's also Patrick Preston, not really highly rated, but I can feel a bit of aura from him. We're now entering a preseason tournament, mainly for the money, but let's be honest, it'll also give us a chance to get to know the team. And one player I was really impressed by was Joseph Holden. He showed a lot of leadership on the pitch, so I think we should be giving him the armband. But truth be told, we did lack a lot of quality. Matthew Powell up top was a total fraud. The bright spot though were the Rose brothers. They were genuine ballers. To compete in EFL League 2 and even dream of promotion, I think we need to make some transfers. But right now, all our funds are tied up in staff and coaching departments. The only way we can maybe get some new players in is through the youth academy. Oh, but we've just got a 1-star scout. I am sending him off to Spain, hoping that he maybe brings us the next Pedri. But yeah, that sounds like a pipe dream. Finally, it was time for our League 2 debut. We were shaky, but thankfully, Arlo Rose stepped up, scoring the first goal in the club's history and giving us our 3 points. Still, it was clear. If we wanted promotion, we needed to find a way to bring in reinforcements. Now, the only way we could do this, finding another sponsor. You see, one way clubs generate revenue is by having a shirt sponsor. And once again, I was spending sleepless nights in the club's offices trying to get a brand to sponsor us. But nobody really cared because we're a League 2 club. Who's even watching us? But after a lot of calls and negotiations, we did land an offer from a Chinese company, Temu. I can't believe we're gonna have to pick up Chinese funding, but they are willing to offer us £2 million. But they did have an objective for us. They wanted us to sign a Chinese player, and that was non-negotiable. I had no choice, boys. I signed the deal. Temu's on our kits. But now we gotta find a player from China who can survive the level in League 2. And I have just found Wang Haijian, a surprisingly classy midfielder for just 500k. And would you believe it? This is the best $500,000 we've ever spent. Although this is the first time we're spending money. Wang literally ended up being the Chinese Chavi, bossing the midfield, popping up with goals, and linking beautifully with the Rose brothers. Somehow, Wang was the missing piece we needed in our midfield, and with him, we were top of the league after 14 games. Now, the big question is, do we invest the rest of our money into more signings? Maybe another player like Wang coming in could change our team, guarantee us promotion, or do we start investing in the academy? Because remember that 1-star scout we had who we sent to Spain? Looks like he ended up just taking a lovely vacation in Ibiza, brought us no talent. I'm firing him from the club. We hired a couple more experienced scouts and sent them on missions to find real talent. Meanwhile, it was time for our FA Cup debut. Up against West Brom, a championship club 2 divisions above us. Oh, that was a bad challenge. Wait a minute, red card? Wait West Brom got a red card for that. We took full advantage of that dodgy red with the Rose brothers backing the goals for a massive upset. Suddenly, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Brands were noticing us. That's what happens when you play a championship club and cause an upset. But that got me dreaming. What if we face a Premier League club in the FA Cup? A Man United, a Man City, a Liverpool. Of course, we'll probably lose, but the exposure we'll get, surely we can then have maybe a brand bigger than Temu with more money sponsoring us. But reality hit hard. Derby County ended up knocking us out on penalties. Even with the heartbreak, though, there were positives. Max, Arlo, Wang, Preston all gaining experience and improving. We also discovered Bradley Hart, easily the best dribbler at the club. But focusing on the FA Cup did cost us in the league. After 36 games, we were 5th, outside the automatic promotion spots. And don't forget, failure to get promoted means returning Umbro's money. That could legit make us bankrupt. The players were also mentally shaken, making mistakes, dropping points. Then came a lifeline. A scout we had sent to Brazil. He found a player who could be the next Neymar, Renato Teixeira. But there was one problem. We are kind of broke. Only £40,000 left. Are we about to miss out on a generational talent because we have no cash? That's when Captain Joseph Holden stepped up. I called him into a meeting, explained him the situation. He offered to half his wages so we could sign Renato. This was an emotional moment. And this showed what a Captain Holden is and how much he loves S2G FC. He's doing it for the club. His sacrifice will never be forgotten. With that, we signed Renato to our academy, already 63 rated, and promoting him straight into our first team. And on his debut, he lit up the pitch, showing exactly why they're calling him the next Neymar. He's constantly dribbling, and he finds the space and scores on his debut. And with the talent he brought in, we've managed to pull it off. Automatic promotion to League One, finishing 2nd. It's not as good as winning the title, but we'll take it. We're going up. But this is just the start. It's a long road ahead to the Premier League. Season 2 and we're already in the S2G FC offices. And I was expecting phone calls from a lot of sponsors. Because of course, we did just secure promotion in our first ever season. But so far, it's only Umbro reaching out with the same exact offer. And nah, man, I don't want that kind of pressure. It's an unfair offer. We're not signing that. But wait, I've just got an email from Under Armour. And it looks like they're offering us 3 million. That's way more than last year's budget. Plus, if we make it to the top 6 of League One by January, they'll give us another 1 million bonus to improve our team. This is the real deal, man. I'm signing the contract immediately, but now we're straight away working on getting a shirt sponsor. We had Temu last year, and this season they're tripling the money, 3 million. But there's a catch. They want us to replace our entire team with Chinese players. As much as I respect Wang, I'm not going full Chinatown just yet. I don't want to end up dealing with Trump tariffs, but losing Temu would be a huge blow. Thankfully, Wang has some deep connections back home in China, and he's managed to convince Temu to remain our sponsor, but just on the sleeve, and it'll only be 1 million. But you know what? I'll take it. Then out of nowhere, I got a call from Messi. No, not to join our club. He's too big for us. But to promote his drinks brand, Mas Plus. The contract is solid 3 million in cash. Plus, we're required to sign 1 Argentine player and also run some academy projects there. And honestly, this seems like a win-win. I'm signing the contract, and would you believe it? We've got Messi as an investor in our club right now. With 7 million in the bank, it's time to improve our squad. But first, I can't forget the sacrifice Joseph Holden made last season. Without him, we wouldn't have had Renato Teixeira. He's right now our most valuable player. And you know what? To reward Joseph Holden's loyalty, now that we've got money, I'm making him the highest earner at the club. El Capitan deserves it. Looking at our squad, though, we still need a solid centre-back to partner with Holden and maybe an Argentine defender. These guys are known for their rock-solid defending. Think Otamendi or Cristian Romero. Of course, we can't afford a player of that level. But I have found Nicolas Mariano, 24-year-old, 70 rated, and he's got a reasonable release clause. Now, convincing him to join League One was tricky, but hey, the language barrier kind of helped and he's agreed to join us. Maybe he thought this was Ligue 1 in France. But there you go, we've got our first 70 rated player and we're not stopping here. We need a centre mid. But the season is almost upon us and I'm already giving my first press conference. The media had only one question: can we survive relegation? I scoffed at that and said we're aiming for back-to-back promotions. Mentality, boys. That's the mentality we need. We now kick off our League One campaign against Mansfield and reality check. They took the lead and we had no answer. We were completely outclassed in midfield, and after 2 games, we were 20th in the league. Maybe the media did have a point. With 3 million still in the bank, it's time to make a move and bring in a new center mid. But as I'm scouting for new players, I hear a bombshell. One of our best players is left for a better club in League One. Who could it be? Not the Rose brothers, not Holden, definitely not Wang. Oh no, it's Richard Healy. He's made a shock move to Derby County behind our backs. This was the same club that knocked us out in the FA Cup last year. Apparently, Richard Healy was pissed about being subbed off for Bradley Hart. I mean, what do you expect? Bradley Hart is our best dribbler. He was just better. But now Healy's gone full-on villain. He's given a Piers Morgan interview calling me a fraud and said that S2G FC is the worst ranked club in England. This guy, man, I can't wait to face Derby. I'm planning on giving Healy the L. Meanwhile, back to transfers. Here's the idea that could change everything. Signing Mbappe. No, not Kylian, but his little brother Ethan. He's 66 rated, just what we need. But he's at a League 1 club. How do we convince him to join us in EFL League 1? Thanks to our partnership with Messi, though, we got a meeting with Ethan's camp. 2 million was enough to get a deal, but he wasn't keen to join us. The only way we could convince Ethan Mbappe was by making him the highest paid player. Sorry, Joseph Holden, you're going to be the second highest paid player at the club now. This is for the greater good, though. Ethan Mbappe is coming to S2G FC. The push for promotion begins, but after 14 games, we're still 19th in the league. League 1 feels way above our pay grade. Slowly, though, the signings of Mbappe and Mediano are starting to pay off. Ethan has been linking up well with Wang, and up top, Renato and Arlo are finding the back of the net more often. There's still tension between Arlo and Max. They don't pass to each other, but as long as we're winning, it's fine. We've climbed up to 9th now, but with Derby County looming, we need a win to push for that top 6 spot. And oh, look at Healy talking trash in the press. I can't wait to shut him down. It's Derby Day, and Healy isn't even in the starting 11. Oh, the sweet irony. We start strong, though, with a diving header from Arlo, but Preston gets chipped and Derby takes the lead. I can already see Healy preparing for another press conference to bash us. Thankfully, though, the Rose brothers combine for the goal and we get a draw. But not winning against Derby means we don't secure top 6 by January. No extra million for us. And with no more money coming in, we need to figure out a way to improve the squad without transfers. And the only way I can think of is the youth academy. We've got a couple of Spaniards in there, Lorenzo Rivero and John Caballero. They actually look decent, so we'll promote them up. But I think the team still needs more firepower. Free agents might be the play. And I've just found Vasil Couché, a 72 rated Czech midfielder. What a steal this is. We're signing him up, and little did I know that this transfer would spark our return to the promotion race. Couché scored on his debut, and he kept on scoring. He was linking up so well with the Rose brothers and Renato. But tactically, we had to make some changes to get the best out of everyone. Max is now playing as a cam, Renato up top. Arlo has been pushed out wide. He's not thrilled about it. But since this tactics is getting the best out of everyone, he's not complaining. Our attack is now literally unstoppable. Also, a bit of good news. We did send a scout to Argentina, which was a part of the Messi contract. And we have found a gem, Sergio Blanco, 63 rated left back. I'm straight away promoting him to the first team. We're now 7th in the league, just 1 spot away from the playoffs. From being 19th, we've made an incredible comeback, but the job's not done. We need to win our final game of the season against Derby County. Only then will we get that top 6 spot. Richard Healy, of course, once again benched. What a fraud. But he still can't stop talking trash. The game, though, has been intense. We're dominating possession, though. We're creating all the chances, but we can't finish. Finally, in the second half, Max Rose finds space, gives us the lead, and we've done it. Top 6 has been secured. Take that, Richard Healy. But it's not over yet. We now face Wickham in the playoffs. They take the early lead, and I start to fear that we're doomed to be another season in League 1. But then Wickham has a player sent off. The momentum shifts and we take control. We're 1 game away from being a championship club. Nerves are high, but Arlo Rose is ice cold. What a finish from him to win us the game. S2G FC are going up. The dream is still alive. We're 1 step closer to being a Premier League club. Season 3 begins, and I'm barely back at the S2G FC offices, and I've already gotten an email from EFL. Apparently, our stadium doesn't meet championship requirements. If we don't upgrade, we'll be forced back down to League 1. Are you kidding me? We literally earned our promotion. Okay, yeah, I mean, our stadium is currently tiny. It's like a local park with just the capacity of 3,900. But this is still insane. Now, to upgrade our stadium, we're gonna have to pay like £7 million. Where are we getting this kind of money? Especially since all our sponsor contracts have expired. Mass Plus do want to renew, but only if we loan out Sergio Blanco to Inter Miami. Apparently, Messi he wants him to replace Jordi Alba there. But come on, man, he's already a first-team starter for us. No way I'm signing such a deal. Under Armour have just pulled out entirely. But just as the panic sets in, Puma have come in with a lifeline. They're offering us £8 million plus a playoff bonus if we're top 6 by January. Now, that's exactly what we need, because with this money, we can have our stadium upgrade locked in. And look at that, the capacity is now at 10,000. We are not going back down. Now, there's just one problem. All our money has gone into the stadium upgrade, and we've just got £1 million left. And come on, we're in the championship. We're not surviving this level if we don't improve our team. We need a big shirt sponsor to bring in money. And I'm thinking, now that we had a fallout with Mass Plus, why not approach Prime? I mean, they've even sent me free drinks before to bribe me. And they're offering us good money as well, 7 million. Apart from that, our Chinese Chavi Wang has secured a Temu renewal. Also, we're getting a chunk of broadcast revenue. And suddenly, our budget is up to 16 million, the biggest we've ever had. This is after the stadium upgrade. We're in a good spot. Before we dive into transfers, though, let's unveil our new kits for the season. Well, I hope Inter Miami doesn't sue us, because that away kit is looking very familiar. But just as I thought I was done with all the admin stuff, Arlo Rose storms into my office. He's handing in a transfer request. He's tired of being shoved out wide. He wants to play in that striker position or he's leaving. Last season, though, the only reason we got promoted was putting Renato Teixeira up top, Arlo in that right wing position. Those tactics worked, but I can't afford to lose Arlo, man. He's so important for our team. So I guess I'm gonna have to come up with a new plan. Arlo at striker, Max at cam, Teixeira on the left wing spot. Well, he is the next Neymar, so he should be great there. And then we've got Couché on the right. It's not ideal, but I think it should work. Still, looking at our squad, we're probably the weakest team in the championship on paper. We need reinforcements. And not just that, I think a statement signing. And I'm thinking James Rodriguez. I know you're thinking he's 34, but he's a former Real Madrid star. Can you imagine how much our young players can learn from a player like him? Plus the shirt sales we'll get in Latin America. 7.5 million, boys, and we've got the deal done. James is joining S2G FC, the biggest name signing we've ever made. But the season begins and we're getting crushed. James might be our highest rated player, but physically he's struggling. 3 games in, we're 23rd. We need help and fast. With about 7 million left, we signed Cody Dramer to strengthen the right back spot, but even then the team's just not clicking. You know what? I think it's our tactics. We switched to something that clearly doesn't work. Maybe we need to move to a more attacking 4-3-3. Teixeira and Max this time on the wings. Arlo up top and James pulling the strings. And finally, something clicks. James scores, the team looks alive, and we climb out of the relegation zone up to 17. But just as I thought things were on the rise, injury crisis. Mariano, Arlo, Wang, all out for about 8 weeks. This was brutal. I thought maybe this was going to be James' moment to step up, but his body just can't keep up. The championship's just too much for him. We're now in January, and I think I realized we need to cut our losses and move on. I made a signing for the PR, for the media, and it's completely backfired. Well, at least Max Rose has stepped up in Arlo's absence. Even the media is calling him the better Rose. You bet the tensions are high in the Rose household. Also, Teixeira's growing into a true star. And these injuries made me discover Lorenzo Rivero from our youth academy. He's been brilliant in that centre-back spot. We've now climbed up to 11th. Sadly, though, that's not going to be enough to give us the bonus from Puma. But considering the injuries, I think we've done well. And now I am cutting my losses on James Rodriguez. We've got a low ball offer from Inter Miami. They're only willing to pay 4 million for him. What a loss we've taken on James, man. But hey, sometimes transfers flop. We just got to take it on the chin and move forward. Now we desperately need an attacking midfielder, but it's deadline day and cash is kind of tight. I don't think we can make a permanent signing. But what about a loan? Ethan Nwaneri, currently at Barca, on the loan list. We only need to pay half his wages and have managed to negotiate a future buy option. This is the play. Instantly, the team felt so much more alive with Nwaneri in that cam spot. His passing, his energy transformed us. Suddenly, promotion doesn't seem so crazy. But to make the most out of Nwaneri's playmaking, I've made our toughest decision yet. Benching Arlo Rose. I feel like we need pace up front. Couché and Max need to start on the wings. Arlo's furious with this, but to his credit, he stays professional, cheers on the team. Meanwhile, Teixeira, he's becoming a true star, man. Unstoppable. Prime Neymar vibes from him. We've now climbed up to 9th, and yes, we're in the playoff fight. Also, I've just got a message from Arlo. He's been working his socks off in training. I've seen it. He also says that he's faster now. He's willing to play on the wing just to get back into the team. Just give him a shot. Do you know what? He has has been working hard. And I can see it because I gave him a shot and Arlo Rose took it. More clinical, faster, better decision making. That's the level we need from Arlo Rose. And with his redemption, we surged to 5th in the league. Once again, we're in a playoff spot. We knock out Everton in the semis, and now it all comes down to the final at Wembley. And I have a big decision to make. Arlo or Max? I mean, there's only a spot for one of them, but the man who's been in form lately is Arlo Rose. Mentally, I feel he's in a better mind state after being benched, making a comeback. I'd go with the older brother. Ipswich take the lead though, but Arlo steps up. Oh, and we could get another goal. Renato Teixeira squaring it for Arlo. Oh, he finally gets to it and he's actually scored. 77th minute and we've turned things around. Arlo Rose with a brace. Even Max is celebrating that. And we've done it. 3 seasons, 3 promotions, back to back to back. S2G FC is going to the Premier League. The dream is alive. But just as the celebrations die down, I get a message from both Arlo and Max. Me or him? I don't want to play alongside my brother no more. Your choice, Gaffer. This is going to be the biggest decision in the club's history. I'm in my offices right now and I don't know what to do. Choosing between Max or Arlo? It's almost like choosing between my sons. There's no clear answer here. Arlo's got the experience though, and he showed a lot of mentality last season, even after being benched, to come through and help us get promoted. On the other hand, the potential Max has, it's generational. But you know what? In a season where we're going to be fighting for every point in the Premier League, I think we need the experience of Arlo. The decision has been made. Max sold. He didn't take long to find a new home. He's joining Leeds United, who by the way did get promoted with us, so at some point we will face Max. But there's no time to be sad. The real challenge is about to begin. The Premier League and the championship squad we've got, it's not really gonna cut it. We need reinforcements. Now thankfully we saved up 6 mil from last season, and also with that Premier League TV money, the budget's up to 21. Also, the Chinese Chavi Wang has done a madness with his connections. Got that Timu deal renewed. Even Puma want to renew with us by offering 10 million plus another 5 if we make it to top 10 by Christmas. But unfortunately, Prime did pull out. Apparently, they didn't like the beef of the Rose brothers and them separating. Honestly, though, I preferred Mass Plus anyway. Now, we've already had a deal from Messi, but now the other goat is coming in with an offer. Ronaldo wants to sponsor his YouTube channel, You Are, and for that, he's paying another 10 mil. Part-time YouTuber Ronaldo coming up clutch. We're signing the contract. Oh, but wait a minute. There's a hidden clause in there. He wants us to replace an Argentinian player with a Portuguese player. This is why you should read the fine print, man. I signed the contract. There's nothing I can do. I have to make this happen. But hey, at least that's got our budget up to 44 million. That's the biggest budget we've ever had. But we're also up against the biggest challenge we've ever had in the Premier League. Our first move is triggering the buy option on Ethan Nwaneri. With Max gone, we're going to need him more than ever. Now, to comply with that Ronaldo clause, I sold Mariano. That was painful, but we did end up finding Tomas Araujo, 81 rated defender from Benfica. It's our most expensive signing yet, 17.5 mil. But these are the kind of players we need to avoid relegation. Now, I completely forgot to mention, last season, I loaned out Bradley Hart because he wasn't getting much game time. But look at him now. He's become a proper baller. He's back in the squad, and that's what we need for depth. But before we make any more signings, it's time for our Premier League debut. But oh boy, Bournemouth were all over us. The level is so much higher. But we somehow stole the game in the 89th minute. Renato Teixeira, he's actually scored. Let's go. First ever Premier League goal is an 89th minute winner. A dream start as we get 3 points in our first Premier League game. I did realize though that we're lacking a bit of depth in our midfield, so I recalled young John Caballero from loan. But yeah, everything's going well. We've got a draw against Crystal Palace. We knocked out Brighton in the Carabao Cup. But just as everything's going well, breaking news. An S2G FC player has signed a deal with Man United. Bro, if that's Renato Teixeira, Arlo Rose, or Captain Joseph Holden, it could completely crush our club. Oh, but it's Matthew Powell? Why on earth would Man United want this fraud? His biggest highlight for us is just missing sitters. I have no problem in him leaving. Soon though, we suffered our first Premier League loss to Wolves. And this made me realize we are missing Max Rose. He was dead in that right wing position, scoring so many goals. I'm not sure if Couché can do that at this level. We've got 23 million actually. And I've managed to find Ben Doak, Scotland's finest. We've managed to sign him for just 20 million euros. Now, we had to break our transfer record for this signing, and it's not done well for our finances. We also had to renew a ton of contracts, and because of that, we're down to just 160k. This club is beyond broke. But hey, if we can make it to Christmas being top 10 in the Prem, we'll get a lovely cash injection from Puma. But that's not looking so good because we lost to Man City. We've now lost 5 games in a row and we're 19th in the Premier League. I hate to say this, but Arlo Rose, he is not cutting it in the Premier League. It just doesn't feel like he's got the physicality. Maybe if we can get that 5 mil, a striker signing could be on the cards. But wait a minute, why is S2G FC being sued? Oh my days, Adidas have come in with a case. They're filing a copyright strike on one of our kits for having the 3 stripes. Bro, that's Puma's fault. Why are we getting into this mess? Now to avoid getting dragged to court, we're gonna have to pay a fine of 3 million euros. But we're broke, boys. How are we gonna do this? There's only a couple of ways I can think of, by maybe selling some of our players or getting that 5 million from Puma. We know what we need to do, but we completely bottle things. Christmas is here and we're 17th in the Premier League. Oh boy. I'm in the S2G FC offices right now and I'm stressed. I don't know how we're gonna pay Adidas the money. And while we're dealing with all this tension, we've got a relegation battle against Leeds United. Not just that, it's Arlo versus Max Rose. Max has been carrying Leeds all season long. He's up to an 84 overall, while Arlo is just trying to find his feet. Max did look dangerous in this game, but the rest of the Leeds team, not so much. Arlo Rose finding a bit of space. Oh, ho, ho. And that's a 3-0 win against Leeds. Arlo is the one who gets the last laugh. And also after the game, Mama Rose was interviewed. She said that Arlo was the one who told Max to leave. Not because he wanted the spotlight, but because he believed Max had more potential and needed to carve his own path. Maybe, just maybe, Arlo isn't the big bad bully we think he is. He was looking out for Max. Putting the family drama aside, we're now heading to deadline day and we still haven't figured out a way to pay Adidas. Okay, but we have managed to sell Rory Pratt for 3 million. Man, he was a day 1 player, part of the journey from the very beginning. But hey, even his last act is helping out the club massively. We've paid Adidas and the lawsuit is gone. Now we can finally focus on the Premier League. But I'll be honest, guys, there's no way we're getting top 10. We are going to be in a brutal relegation fight, and I think this season our goal is to just survive. I still felt like the team needed some sort of improvements, but with no cash, it was really tough. Although I realized Leandro Paredes, 78 rated World Cup winner, he's available on a free. No brainer, we used our last bit of cash to sign him. Now, Paredes did add a bit of quality in our midfield, which got us some decent results, but it was nowhere near enough. The big clubs in the Premier League, the likes of Chelsea, City, they bullied us. We also got knocked out in the Carabao Cup by Manchester United, and guess who's just signed for them? Max Rose. I mean, I kind of expected something like this. He was unbelievable for Leeds. They were sinking, and Max Rose has decided to jump ship. Man United, man. I mean, fair enough. But looking at Max Rose's success, even some of our players are thinking about leaving. Ethan Mbappe has just had a rough conversation with me. If we don't survive the Premier League, he'll look to leave. We've now got a big game against Leeds United. And I thought that now that they don't have Max, they're not going to be a threat. But we actually lost 3-1. And now in the final game of the season, we're up against Wolves, where if we don't get a result, it's over. We're going down. But you know what? They say it gets darkest before Renato rises. Pass inside for Nwaneri. Now Renato Teixeira. Finally, let's go. We get the breakthrough. And rise he did by scoring a brace. We win 2-0. And we stay up. Only just. We live to fight another day in the Premier League. But we'll be fighting alone because Puma and Ronaldo both have pulled out as sponsors. They don't want to be associated with the relegation battling club. And with our finances now in the mud, I don't know for how long can we even just survive the Premier League. Season 5, I'm in the S2G FC offices and I cannot believe what's just happened. We've got no sponsors. They've all pulled out. You would have think that we've gotten relegated the way these brands are acting. But now we actually avoided relegation. 3 seasons before that, we went back to back to back. I would have appreciated some support at least from the sponsors. But wait, there is Temu. Looks like they still want to continue our relationship only because of the Chinese Chavi Wang. They're willing to give us 12 million to be our shirt sponsor. No clause of signing more Chinese players. And they'll also give us a bonus if we're top 10 by Christmas. Bro, honestly, the MVP of S2G FC is Wang. Countless times, bro has brought us this Temu deal that's keeping the club afloat. The good thing is we also got an Under Armour kit deal. They're back with us only for 8 million. But the big money coming in is the Premier League TV money. With that, we've now got 38 million. It's not as much as last season, but if we can use this right, I reckon we can at least fight to be mid-table in the Premier League. By the way, our new kits do look clean. No Adidas drama this time. They can't sue us. us. But now it's time to build a squad. Now, last season, you would have seen we struggled without having a physical striker. We also need a midfielder to rotate with Wang. He can't play every game. Same with Ethan Mbappe. And also, I think we could really do with a new left back to compete with Blanco. And look who's available. Paul Pogba. His doping ban is finally gone. He's 35 and a free agent. This reminds me of the James transfer, boys. That was a complete flop. We wasted so much money. But why do I have a feeling that Pogba, the way he's built, I don't think he's going to struggle physically in the Premier League. And we are a club built on redemption stories. The likes of Teixeira coming from the favelas in Brazil. Arlo and Max coming from humble households in England. Pogba, of course, is trying to save his legacy after the ban. And you know what? I'm taking the risk signing him for free. But we had to drop £100,000 per week to land him, making him our highest paid player. Unfortunately, that's caused a bit of dressing room unrest. Captain Joseph Holden tells me that players are unhappy about Pogba's salary. We didn't do the right thing. We renewed everybody's contracts. But the budget's now down to 26 million. I think I messed up. Now we don't have money to sign a physical striker. We do have enough money to sign Patrick Dorgu. Really good left back. Let's bring him in. And you know what? Maybe we just need to give Arlo a bit more time in that striker position. He definitely looks like he's improved from last year. And actually, the season begins and Arlo's doing the job. It feels like he's finally adapted to the Premier League. Pogba too is dazzling in the midfield. Unlike James, who just struggled physically, Pogba's got no such issue. He's built like a tank. But the first real test this season we've got is Man City. Last season, big clubs just bullied us. And if we want to survive and say that we belong in the Premier League, we need to get results in games like this. Looking back for Arlo, Renato Teixeira, and we've opened Man City up. Oh my days, we've managed to hold on. A massive win against Pep Guardiola. This might be one of the greatest wins in this club's history. And that was the momentum shift we needed. Our players were flying this season. Teixeira scoring hat-tricks, Preston making save after save. But just when things started looking too good to be true, a doctor's note comes in. Someone in the squad has just tested positive for doping. Surely it can't be Paul Pogba. Well, Pogba's learned his lesson. It wasn't him, but it's Bradley Hart. He's been such a good super sub for us. I can't believe this. And would you believe it? It's Richard Healy, former S2G player, who spiked his drink out of pure hatred. By the way, Richard Healy has been kicked out of Derby County. He's now unemployed. And this is what he's doing, man. Unbelievable. What a hater. Sadly, though, Bradley Hart's suspended for the season, but he'll be back, and we're going to trust him once he's back. I'm not letting Healy ruin his career. We're now facing Manchester United, Max Rose's team, and if we get a result here, I think we've secured that top 10 finish. It was tough to defend against Max, but our team was doing the job. And on the other end, Renato Teixeira popped up with 2 goals. United scored 1 to get back into it, but it wasn't enough as we pick up a famous win against United. I told you this season was different. Christmas is here, and we're 10th in the Premier League. We finally have secured the budget boost. Himu coming up clutch with the money. And with the January transfer window now open, I'm thinking of signing the budget Haaland, Jorgen Strand Larsen. I mean, just look at Larsen's stats. He's the perfect striker we need to complement Arlo. He could be the ultimate super sub as well. But oh my days, there's a crazy offer coming in for Preston. It's over 70 mil. This is one of the biggest transfer offers I think we've ever received. We could use this money, sign Larsen, probably bring in another good goalkeeper. It could change the trajectory of this club. But can I really let go of Preston after everything? He's been here from day 1 since our League 2 days. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll counter with 80 million. If we're getting that from Spurs, so be it. And no way they've accepted. Preston is leaving S2G FC. 80 million pounds. I'm sad. I'm just so sad to see him leave. But I think we made the right call because this money can go a long way for us. We are using it to sign the budget Haaland, Strand Larsen, but also we need a goalkeeper. And I've just got a message from Renato. Hey boss, my younger brother is one of the most promising keepers in the world. I think you should sign him. And okay, Renato, your little bro Eduardo is an absolute beast. 19 and 6'5". Are you sure they're brothers? And he's got a 60 million release clause. And there you go. 2 brothers uniting once again in S2G FC. We've got Eduardo Teixeira. On paper, the team we have should be good enough to even qualify for European football. But on the pitch, it looked like the team had lost its soul. Eduardo was being shaky. Up top, Strand Larsen wasn't being clinical. We've now dropped down to 12th. If we don't get European football next year, I have a feeling just like Preston, other big players might also want to leave. Thankfully, though, Renato, though, up top became a one-man army. 32 goals in the Premier League this season. I mean, these are Ballon d'Or worthy numbers. Somehow, he single-handedly carried us to 7th in the Premier League? That's probably going to get us Europa League football next year. With Renato as the main man, I know if I can just keep building our team around him, he'll get us that Premier League trophy. Maybe even the Champions League. That's how good he is. But then I got the shock of my life. A world record offer came in for Renato, and rumors suggest it's from a big Spanish club. We've already lost Preston, and that's been a big loss. How can we possibly survive without our talisman? The future of S2G hangs in the balance. It's been a couple of weeks into the new season and I'm still waiting for Renato's decision. I can't imagine it's going to be easy for Renato because leaving S2G FC, I mean, this is the club he's made his career. He's grown up here. It's not an easy choice for him to make, but the allure of Barcelona is so grand. I'm really hoping he chooses us. Meanwhile, though, we've got an offer from Adidas. £25 million as well. Bro, this is the same club that sued us and we had to get a legal settlement. Look how the tables have turned. But hey, I don't hold any grudges. I'm signing up this contract. Also, Timu coming in with a solid 7 million and just for being our sleeve sponsor back again. Again, gotta love Wang. But the interesting thing is Prime are back. Apparently, they love that they shared our brothers' story and they want to sponsor us back again. I mean, we'll absolutely take this money. But just as we signed this contract, would you believe it? Renato made his decision. He's walking out the club. Off he goes to Barcelona. I mean, to be fair, Renato is Ballon d'Or level. Barcelona is a club he can probably win that. It's going to be a tough one to take. He's our greatest ever player, but we got to figure out a way to move on. Already, though, financially, we're struggling without Renato because Prime are pissed that we've separated the brother duo and they're threatening to pull out their money. Wait a minute. If all Prime wants is a brother duo, I think I might have the perfect idea. Bringing Max Rose home. The club needs more firepower, and who better than Max Rose, the prodigal son who left for Manchester United? He is now absolutely incredible. His value is upwards of 83 million. But now that we're a club that could potentially push for the title, we have that open spot in the attack as well. We're making it happen, boys. 90 million to sign him. It's done, boys. A complicated homecoming. Max is back. The two barely acknowledge each other in training. Their relationship is still ice cold. Secretly, I know Arlo wants the best for Max. He'll never admit it. On the other side, Max is coming here as a superstar, wanting to crush Arlo. The tension is palpable at the club. I wonder if this expensive gamble will pay off. Well, despite their off-pitch beef, something is clicking because Arlo has just scored a hat-trick against Man United and they're even celebrating together after years. We further strengthened the squad by signing Connor Bradley, but I wasn't done just yet. With the money we got for Renato Teixeira, we need to make the best use of it. And I thought maybe a bit of revenge against Barcelona by signing Fermin Lopez. He's 26 years old, in his prime, 87 rated. The energy he'll bring, the talent and technique. He's one of our biggest signings ever. And I also signed this Daniel Grimshaw guy, just because we need a backup keeper for Eduardo. Now, while this season we're playing the best football I think we've ever played, Max and Arlo just seem to be getting the job done. Tensions are rising as Max gets sent off against Bournemouth, and after the game the dressing room is split. Arlo was blaming Max for being inexperienced and immature, and that has split the dressing room. The seniors are with Arlo and the youngsters are siding with Max. Bro, Team Arlo versus Team Max is happening in our dressing room right now. But again, despite this tension, we're flying on the pitch. Even our new signing Fermin Lopez is scoring goals. We're right now second in the Premier League in the title race. Meanwhile, in France, we've got the Ballon d'Or ceremony. I was expecting Renato Teixeira to win this because he's now grown to a 94 overall, but it's Erling Haaland who took that award. Apparently, Renato is not having the best of time at Barcelona. Injuries and whatnot, party life. I mean, that's what Brazilians do when they join that club. But hey, I'm sure Renato will pick himself up. For now, let's focus on winning the Prem. If you look at the Premier League table this season, the usual top 6 are nowhere to be seen. If we keep winning games like this, I think we can do it. But would you believe it? Arlo and Max have had a training ground spat. They've both come to me saying that they're not going to be playing with each other. Last time I fell into this trap and decided to sell one of them. This time I'm going to bench both of these morons until they get some sense in their head and realize that the club is bigger than them. Now, without Max and Arlo, it was going to be difficult to win, but Strand Larsen stepped up with the goal. That's what he was was signed for. And after watching the game from the bench, both of them realized and apologized. They're going to give everything for the club. Meanwhile, we've now made it to the transfer window, but we are still 7 points off Leicester City. Of all clubs, yup, they are top of the league. I think we're lacking firepower in the attack. We've got Ben Douak playing left wing. I don't think that's good enough. And we were able to sell Douak to Manchester United. Things happened just so quickly. A part of me wanted to try and sign Renato Teixeira back, but he's completely out of our budget. But Rafael Leao fits our budget. He's 30 years old, but he's world class. He's won the league in Serie A. He knows how to win titles. And that's what we need. We're spending all of our money on him. Rafael Leao is going to be playing for S2G FC. And we saw just how good Leao is. He was scoring screamers. But just before deadline day, Manchester United have come in with an offer. 145 million for Ethan Mbappe. So far, whenever the big offers come, we've caved. And this time, Ethan Mbappe is considering leaving. But Paul Pogba at the club, who's been a big mentor for Ethan, convinced him. Told him that he cannot join Man United. He made the same mistake. And I think that really helped. Ethan Mbappe respects Pogba. He listened to him. In fact, Ethan Mbappe has also developed Pogba's play styles. But the main thing is we're rejecting this offer for Ethan Mbappe. We keep our squad as is. The window is shut. Can we now win the Premier League? Well, we have made it to the final match day where, yes, there is a chance. If we win against Bournemouth, we're going to be champions of England. This season has been weird because none of the usual top 6 have been in contention. Everything is on the line against Bournemouth. 6 years of struggle, and we could finally become the best club in England without the likes of Renato, Preston. It would be such a big moment. But of course, Liverpool are still in this fight because if we slip up and they win, they'll be crowned champions. And look who's in the stands. Richard Healy, our biggest hater. He's even wearing a Liverpool jersey. I can't stand him. The tension in this game was unbearable though, especially after we found out that Liverpool were leading their game. And soon Bournemouth scored and it felt like our dreams were crumbling. But football can be beautifully cruel because Fermin Lopez scored the scrappiest and luckiest goal ever. But that was the final whistle. We couldn't score another goal. It ends in a draw. Nobody celebrated at first because we didn't know if we had won the league until it hit us that Liverpool had dropped points as well. And somehow we won the Premier League with just 69 points. The lowest total for a champion ever. I don't know how we did this, but in 6 seasons, we've taken S2G FC from League 2 all the way to the Premier League trophy. But I'm not done yet, boys. I want to make S2G FC the best club in Europe. Season 7 and I've only got one goal, winning the Champions League. But to do that, I think the club's going to need a lot more investments. Because I'll be honest, we had a lot of luck to win the Premier League last year. That is not going to happen in the Champions League. We need to really improve our squad. Now, the good thing is, because of being Premier League champions, we're getting the Premier League TV money come in, the Champions League broadcast revenue. And would you believe it, we're signing a massive deal with Emirates. But also a big one, Adidas want to renew our contract and they're giving us good money for it. But also there's a clause that they will help fund an Adidas-sponsored athlete to join us. I'm thinking Lamine Yamal, Jude Bellingham, Messi, of course, but I think he's retired at this point. This could be huge. Of course, Wang continues to bring us the Temu deal. And with all of that, our budget looks crazy. 171 million. And just as I was planning out our transfer window, I got a message that brought tears to my eyes. It was Renato Teixeira, the greatest player in our club's history. His career at Barcelona has completely fallen off. He's been missing training sessions, getting injured, embracing the party life like all the Brazilians before him. His overall has dropped from 94 to 90, and he's literally begging me to come back. Because you see, S2G FC is where Renato made a career for himself. This is where he had the most focus. And I think he wants to revive his career. And I don't see a better place than our club. But how do we bring him back? His market value is still 228 million, more than what we've got. But wait, if I make the ultimate sacrifice, selling Rafa Leao. He's only been here for 6 months. He helped us win the Premier League. But I gotta do it for Renato. We're selling him. And with that money, we're breaking a world record. 260 million to bring home Teixeira. And looking at our front three right now, Teixeira, Arlo, and Max. It's making me emotional. And also, if I've brought these 3 together, why not also bring back Patrick Preston? He's been great for Spurs. He's grown to a 90 overall. Eduardo Teixeira is young, but he's not as high rated. And we've got a big offer here from Chelsea. Controversial, I know, but we're selling Eduardo, bringing back home Preston. The boys that helped us get out of League 2 are all back together. But still, I don't think our team is good enough to win the Champions League. And that's why I've just signed Alphonso Davies. And And now about that Adidas pundit signing. We could go with Lamine Yamal. But truth be told, our attack looks already insane. Where is he going to play? And that's why I think I'm going to go with Jude Bellingham. 94 rated, a player in his prime. He's going to be the highest paid player at our club. Nobody can even complain. And who would have thought, boys, that at one point S2G FC would be signing a player like Bellingham? But we've pulled it off. And now our team, on paper at least, looks like Champions League favorites. And we showed that against teams like Roma and PSG. Even against Real Madrid, we put up a big fight. The game ended 3-3, but we looked like the better team. Just as everything was going well in the Champions League, Arlo injured his hamstring. Strand Larsen struggled to really replace him. He wasn't getting the goals. But soon it was time for Arlo to come back from his injury, and I thought everything would be normal from there. But I just got the shock of my life. Arlo Rose has decided to announce his retirement at the age of 27. Apparently that hamstring injury is really serious, and there's a risk of him not being able to walk again if he gets back to playing football. I am shocked, boys. I just can't believe this. Arlo was like a son to me, and no one took this news harder than Max Rose. Despite their rivalry, Max never wanted this. He wanted to prove himself that he's better than his brother on the pitch. Now he alone is going to carry the Rose family legacy. Football is cruel, man, but it waits for no one. Next day we've got a big Champions League game, and with the shock of Arlo's retirement, Galatasaray got the result against us. I just didn't know how our team was going to cope without Arlo, because he had become such an integral part. I tried a lot of things like putting Renato back up top, Bradley Hart in the left wing spot. None of it was working until I realized that Bellingham can also play at striker. He's done that for Real Madrid, won the Champions League with them, and this is exactly what we needed. It changed everything. And Bellingham's finishing was actually clutch, as we did secure a top 8 finish in the league phases. But we faced Barcelona in the round of 16. Preston got chippy-chipped as we were 1-0 down, but Jude Bellingham in the 90th minute got an equalizer and gave us hope. Now in the second leg, though, we need to get the job done. And guess who conjured up magic? It was Renato Teixeira out of nothing. We got the job done. We've knocked out Barca. Through we go to the quarterfinals. But then breaking news, Arlo Rose, who we thought had retired due to his injury, suddenly appeared on PSG's roster. I couldn't believe what's happened here. We terminated his contract because we thought he was retired. Instead, like 3 months later, he's joined PSG. Despite that, we managed to somehow get through Man City. It was a chaotic thriller, but Arlo finally gave a press conference. He explained that he was going to retire, but watching S2G FC just carry on like he never existed. And so he gave everything in rehab, and he finally got the medical clearance. But since he felt like S2G FC didn't need him, he decided to go for PSG. And there is a chance we could end up facing them in the Champions League final. In fact, we do knock out AC Milan in the semis. And would you believe it? We are facing PSG in the final. They've got Arlo. I can't, man. Max versus Arlo in a Champions League final. This is going to destroy their family. Meanwhile, though, we did collect another couple of trophies. The Premier League was in the bag. And also the FA Cup, which was super special because it was Bradley Hart who helped us win it. The man who was banned for doping. He gets his redemption by scoring in the cup. But now we're going for the treble. Champions League final against PSG. The Rose family is in the stands. And Arlo was already creating chances as PSG took the lead. Oh, Rafinha with a proper chance, but Preston can't save everything, and PSG have taken the lead in this final. Preston's crucial saves kept us alive, and soon Bellingham managed to equalize. Looking for Jude Bellingham. What a chance. And Bellingham scores. That's what we needed. And yes, guys, this game is going to extra time. 90 minutes and nothing can separate the two teams. We could do something here. Renato Teixeira through on goal. Renato off the post and in extra time. We've taken the lead. No. Arlo Rose is through. He choked. He choked, boys. Arlo Rose had the opportunity of a lifetime there, but he choked. Now we've got a chance to seal this game. Renato Teixeira, we get another goal. Oh my days, what just happened there? And there's the final whistle. S2G FC are champions of Europe. We've done it. From League 2 to conquerors of Europe in 7 years. And the best part was that after the game, Arlo and Max embraced. Maybe facing each other as rivals gave them perspective. But our story has come to an end. We've just made S2G FC the world's greatest club.